All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the 7-5 Corrupt Cops Who've Crossed the Line, Betrayal in Blue, the book. That's my book. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. I can't say it enough. We're almost at 1,000. I want to get that prize package out to someone. It's going to consist of a couple of t-shirts, a hat, who knows what else. Maybe an autograph book. Let's see what happens. So subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like it and share it on your social media. That'll get it noticed a little more and more people will subscribe. I want to get one thing out of the way first and foremost. People have been asking a lot about how am I doing, everything since my wife has passed and all that. I'm moving forward, one day at a time, all that. You don't really move on from someone you've been married to for 35 years, but I am definitely moving forward. Again, one day at a time. Sometimes I have bad days, sometimes I have good days. It's like a roller coaster. Not just my wife, but since December, I've also lost both parents. My dad passed in December, and my mother passed in April, and Dory was right in between that. So it's been a rough ride. But again, I'm moving forward and doing the best I can. But thank you all for asking about me, see how am I doing, my welfare and all that. Okay, let's get to one story I got today, and this is a pretty fucked up story. And it's been done by cops throughout history, and I've never really completely understood why guys would do this, especially myself coming from the 7-5, where there are arrests to be made every time you turn around. I mean, you can't turn around without seeing a legitimate arrest. That's what we're talking about here: legitimate arrest versus non-legitimate arrest. And what I mean by non-legitimate arrest, we had recently here in Florida again. Deputy Zachery Wester, he was charged with planting drugs on unsuspecting innocent drivers. I don't want to make it look like I'm always picking on cops. I mean, that's what this channel is about the bad cops. There are plenty of good cops out there. We all know that. I was corrupt, so I'm not, picking on all these corrupt cops and bad cops. There are cops out there that do things. I was one of them. I went out there and I grabbed drugs and resold them on the street. I was being paid off by a large, Dominican drug organization for $8,000 a week, my partner and myself. So I was right there. But this is one thing I've never done. Like I said, there was many arrests. You could blink your eyes and make a legitimate arrest back in East New York in the 80s. Never, ever would I even think of planting drugs on an innocent driver, because there's so many legitimate arrests to make. Why would you plant drugs on an innocent driver? Anyway, back in February, Zachery Wester pulled over a driver on a pretense of a female driver, pretense of her brake lights being out. Courtesy stop, letting you know your brake lights out, go get it fixed. He asked the woman for permission to search her vehicle. She said, yeah, of course, no problem. She knew she was, no drugs or anything illegal in the car. Of course, officer, search my car. Well, Officer Wester, after a few minutes, goes back to her and he arrests her for drug possession. She's totally shocked, protesting like any, innocent driver would. But there's also, drivers that aren't innocent that actually have drugs. So say, of course, oh, that's not mine, officer, blah, blah, blah. So that's why he was allowed to get away with this for so long. He did it to multiple drivers. This was caught on his own body camera. Guys, you're all wearing body cameras. Well, most of the cruisers all have dash cam recorders. How fucking dumb can you be if you're doing something like this? His own body cam catches him, white substance in his hand, dumping it in her purse. arrested for drug possession, come out, look what I found in your purse. You're getting arrested for drug possession. She, of course, claims it wasn't hers. Goes through the whole fucking court process. Really fucked this woman over. She went into the system, had to get a lawyer, all that bullshit, fight the case. She complained, I'm assuming, to Internal Affairs. There were obviously other complaints against Officer Wester that I guess they never took seriously, or they were compiling to build a case against him. It took a couple of months after this arrest for Internal Affairs to come down on Wester. So Wester was, like I said, caught on his own body cam, discovered months later. Many innocent people were fucked over by this guy. I believe in what he's facing. He's facing over 100 years if he's convicted on all these charges that he's slammed with. Already 119 of his cases were dismissed. Now, why is he doing this? That's the big question. Why is he doing it? Apparently, he wanted to fast track himself to the narcotics unit. He's pumping up his resume. Look at all these great arrests I'm making. Dude, you're fucking over innocent people. Go pull over some people that actually have drugs. I'm sure if you looked another 10 minutes after this woman, you would have found somebody that had drugs. So finally, they grabbed this guy, and he is off the streets, and he's facing lots of time. Fucking stupid. Just to go to a transfer to a narcotics unit. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So that's the story here down here in Florida. Again, this happened in 2018, but he was recently arrested for it. So like I said, they found the video months later when they started investigating him, when this woman made a complaint. Again, one among many. All right, so see you, Zachery Wester. Lost his job and facing a long time in jail, and Florida Department of Law Enforcement is going to be facing lots of lawsuits over this shit. Okay, one Q&A we're going with. I talked about previous video how I didn't make DUI arrests unless it was absolutely necessary. That I would usually take the guy, get him a ride home, take his keys and lock him in the trunk of his car. And, he could always come back at a later date to retrieve his car. Question was, what were the what were the DUI arrests that I did make, that I had to make? All right, so there were two. I didn't make either of them, but I was the partner in the car on both of these. The first one was in NSU, which again stands for Neighborhood Stabilization Unit. It was, I probably had 2 months out of the academy at this time, so 8 months on the job, 6 months in the academy, out on the job with another rookie. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. We were doing 6 to 2s on Fulton Street, and we're sitting there. He's the driver, and I'm writing up an accident report for an early morning accident. A couple of people gathered around on the sidewalk watching, people rubberneck all the time when there's a car accident. So we're doing that. And all of a sudden you see the people on the side of the street, they starting to cringe, like, oh, and we're like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, bam, we get slammed in the rear of the RMP from behind. Guy flying down the block, just slammed into the rear of the car. Get out. Reeking of fucking out. He was stunk. He had to be out drinking all night on his way home. He had to pass out at the vehicle or doze off while he was driving, one of the two. We go back to the car. He's fucking out of it. Out of it. So I finish up the arrest paperwork. My partner grabs this guy, cuffs him up. He's going to arrest him for DUI. He blew 0.28. That's like fucking walking around unconscious. I don't know how this guy wasn't didn't get alcohol poisoning, but he probably drank like that every day, man. He was probably used to it. So that was 1.28 on this dude. Another time, I'm in the 7.5, probably 2 years into the 7.5. So I'm on the job a couple of years now. Early morning again. We're just pulling out of the back lot and making a turn from off the side street onto Sutter Avenue. All the cops that are working, they usually, there's a small lot in the back, some guys parking a lot. Once that's full, everybody parks on the street, excuse me. Half on the sidewalk and half in the street to give cars passing by more room to pass by on Sutter Avenue. As we turn onto Sutter Avenue, bang, fucking guy driving down the block slams into the rear of an officer's car, pushes out into an officer's car in front of him. That's how fast it was going. Backs up, starts taking off. Fucking bumper's falling off. He's dragging shit. Cop's car is destroyed. We give chase, probably chasing 4 or 5 blocks, made a turn off of Sutter Avenue, northbound, and car comes to a stop. It just, radiator was destroyed, was leaking antifreeze all over the place, smoking like fucking crazy. We get to the car, motherfucker's not coming out of the car. He won't come out. My partner had the guy I was with at the time had a year ahead of me. So he was on the job a little more time. Takes out his mag light, bam, smashes the driver's side window. We reach in, we drag him out through the window. As we drag him out through the window, when he gets on his feet, right away, he's fighting, throws a punch, hits my partner right in the fucking jaw. We go to work on him. He ends up in the hospital, of course. Back then, you don't assault police officers without ending up in a hospital yourself. He got arrested for DUI. My partner took the arrest. DUI, assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, fleeing the scene of a hit and run accident. So those are the two. 2 DUI arrests that I was involved in. So hopefully that answers the question. 7.5 movie still going on. Just wanted to let you guys know about that. They're working on it. And again, Hollywood moves at a snail's pace. Talked about having an interview with somebody that you guys are going to like. It was agreed to. He wants to do the interview. I just have to work out a date that we're both available, and I'll get that interview to you. It will be a great interview. You guys are going to like it. So that's it. Like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share it on your social media. I appreciate you guys all the time coming back. Thank you so much. See you on the next video.